Let me tell you something right now. Poverty is not just about money. It's about a mindset. It's about waking up every day thinking that you don't have enough, that you can't be enough, and that you'll never have more. But the truth is this: you can break free from that poverty mentality starting today. If you start investing in yourself, if you start using your time instead of wasting it, if you stop playing small and start playing to win, you'll never be poor again, because real wealth is built in silence. Real wealth is forged in discipline. Real wealth is created when no one is watching, and it starts when you decide that enough is enough. Start reading daily. Learn something new. Save before you spend. Speak life over your goals. Show up early. Leave excuses at the door. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe yourself everything. Your greatness is already in you, but it needs a plan, a push, and a promise that you will never go back to where you came from. If you want to break free from poverty, stop waiting for change. Become the change. Start doing this today. Work on your mindset. Take relentless action. Build skills. And never stop growing. Because the person who invests in themselves, they're already rich. And poverty, that's not their future. That's just where the story began. Poverty doesn't begin in your wallet. It begins in your mind. Long before the bank account hits zero, long before the bills pile up, and long before the opportunities seem to dry up, there's a silent belief system at play. It whispers things like, "I'll never be rich," or "People like me don't succeed," or "This is just how life is." That's the real poverty, the kind that convinces you that striving for more is a waste of time. This mindset traps you in a cycle of limitation, keeping you stuck not because of your ability, but because of your belief. Until that inner script changes, nothing on the outside ever will. When someone is trapped in a poverty mindset, they focus only on survival, never strategy. Every decision becomes about getting through the day, not building for the future. They pass up opportunities because they don't believe they deserve them. They look at others winning and think, "It must be nice," rather than, "If they can do it, so can I." This mindset turns them into spectators of success instead of participants. And over time, this way of thinking becomes a habit of thinking small, avoiding risk, and settling for less. What's even more dangerous is that the poverty mindset often disguises itself as humility, realism, or caution. People wear it like a badge of honor. I don't need much. Money doesn't matter to me. I'm not like those people chasing success. But here's the truth. Being poor doesn't make you more virtuous. And staying broke doesn't make you noble. It's not about greed. It's about growth. Wanting to improve your life, your income, and your impact is not selfish. It's necessary. Until you stop glorifying lack and start aspiring for abundance, you'll keep repeating the same story. That's why the first battle you must win isn't in the world. It's in your own head. It's about rewiring those beliefs that tell you you're stuck, that you're too old, too late, too broken, or too disadvantaged to rise. Because until your mind accepts the possibility of abundance, even the greatest opportunities will look like traps. The moment you realize that poverty is a mindset, and that mindsets can be changed, is the moment your life begins to shift. Not by magic, not overnight, but by awakening to the truth, you are not poor. You've just been thinking poor, and that can be undone. No one stumbles into success. Wealth doesn't fall out of the sky. It grows inside you first. And the most powerful investment you will ever make is not in stocks, crypto, or real estate. It's in your mind, your skills, and your growth. Every time you read a book, listen to a powerful podcast, study a new trade, or develop your emotional intelligence, you are compounding value. You're turning time into talent, and talent into tools that the world will eventually pay for. You can lose a job, lose money, lose people, but what you learn, who you become, and what you know, that's permanent. People are so quick to spend money on entertainment, but they hesitate to buy a course. They'll waste hours scrolling on their phones, but won't spend 30 minutes reading a book that could change their lives. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. Successful people don't wait for the world to teach them. They go and get the knowledge. They wake up early to grow. They stay up late to sharpen their edge. They understand that comfort is the enemy of progress, and that learning is a lifelong mission, not a phase. The person you are today is a result of the thoughts you had, the choices you made, and the things you learned or didn't learn over the last 5 years. Now imagine who you could be 5 years from now if you committed, starting today, to learn every single day. Imagine the wisdom, the clarity, the mastery, the influence you could build. But this isn't just about knowledge. It's about becoming valuable. When you increase your value in the marketplace, you stop chasing money, and money starts finding you. Daily investment in yourself isn't always glamorous. It means studying when no one's watching. It means practicing when others are partying. It means choosing growth over gratification and purpose over pleasure. But every minute you spend becoming better, smarter, sharper, that's not time wasted. That's time compounded. And the returns don't just show up in your bank account. They show up in your confidence, in your connections, in your conversations, and in the way you carry yourself. And that shift, that transformation, that's where real wealth begins. Discipline is the invisible bridge between dreams and results. You can have all the ambition in the world, but without discipline, it's just noise. Discipline is doing what you said you would do, long after the mood you set it in has left you. It's the quiet commitment that says, I'll show up anyway, even when you're tired, discouraged, or overlooked. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about repetition with intention. Every great achiever, every wealthy mind, every impactful life was built brick by brick, day after day, in the trenches of consistency. Consistency is what transforms actions into identity. The person who gets up every morning to grind, even when no one's clapping, is becoming someone strong, someone unstoppable. You don't see the results right away. And that's where most people quit. They expect immediate payoff. But success doesn't sprint. It compounds. It grows slowly, like interest on an investment, and one day you look up and realize all that work, all that sacrifice, it wasn't wasted. It was stacking, quietly, powerfully. And now it's visible. The danger is that most people flirt with their goals. They don't marry them. They show up strong for 2 weeks, then disappear for 3. They start a plan on Monday and abandon it by Friday. That's not how success works. It respects those who stay committed, even when it's boring, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Because something is happening. Your character is being built. Your habits are being refined. And the person you're becoming, that's someone who can carry success, not just taste it briefly. Discipline doesn't shout. It doesn't post on social media. It doesn't need a crowd. It wakes you up early. It keeps you late. It holds you accountable. And over time, it creates a version of you that others respect, opportunities recognize, and money is drawn to. You don't need to be the smartest or the fastest. But if you are consistent and disciplined, you will outlast, outperform, and out-earn those who rely on talent alone. Because when talent gets tired, discipline keeps moving. The moment you stop consuming and start creating, everything changes. Most people spend their lives reacting, watching videos, scrolling endlessly, following trends, buying products, and living inside someone else's vision. They wake up and consume what the world gives them without questioning if it's helping them grow. But wealth doesn't come to consumers. It flows to creators. The ones who build, write, teach, design, lead, and innovate. The minute you shift from saying, "What can I get?" to asking, "What can I give?" you move into a new dimension of power. You don't need to be famous, rich, or highly skilled to become a creator. You just need the willingness to start. Share your knowledge. Build something useful. Teach what you've learned. Solve problems people are facing. Every piece of value you put into the world is like a seed. Some won't sprout, but some will grow into platforms, businesses, opportunities, and relationships that you never imagined. The world doesn't reward you for how much you consume. It pays you for what you contribute. This shift is uncomfortable at first because creating means taking responsibility. It means no longer hiding behind excuses. When you create, you face your insecurities head on. You hear that voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough," and you keep going anyway. Creating means opening yourself up to failure, to criticism, and to growth. But here's the truth. You don't grow by watching. You grow by doing. Even if it's messy, even if it's slow, even if no one claps at first. Creation is courage in action. When you become a creator, you step into ownership. Ownership of your time. Ownership of your story. Ownership of your income. You're no longer just a spectator in the economy. You're a participant, a builder, a force. And that shift, from passive to active, from dependent to driven, is one of the most powerful financial decisions you will ever make. Because creators don't wait for permission. They don't wait for the right time. They get to work. And eventually, the world takes notice. Your words are not just sounds. They are seeds. Every time you speak, you're planting something in your mind, in your atmosphere, and in your future. Too many people walk around speaking lack over their lives. I'm broke. Nothing ever works for me. I can't catch a break. These aren't harmless phrases. They're declarations. And when you speak like that long enough, your subconscious starts to believe them. Your behavior follows, your energy changes, and opportunities begin to slip through your fingers. Not because they aren't there, but because you've talked yourself out of seeing them. Speaking abundance is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about aligning your language with possibility. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," ask, "How can I afford this?" Instead of saying, "I'm not good at that," say, "I'm getting better every day." Your words are either lifting your future or limiting it. Every time you affirm your potential, your resilience, your capacity to grow, you are building momentum in the right direction. Even in struggle, you can say, "I'm learning from this." Even in failure, you can say, "This is not the end. It's a lesson." Abundance isn't just about money. It's about believing there's always more ideas, more chances, more room to grow, more value to create. It's about knowing that success is not a scarce resource. Just because someone else is winning doesn't mean you're losing. When you think abundantly, you stop seeing others as competition. and start seeing them as inspiration. You begin to attract new opportunities because people are drawn to positive energy, to vision, to people who believe in something bigger than their current circumstances. What you say in private eventually shows up in public. Your self-talk becomes your identity, and your identity dictates your reality. If you constantly talk about lack, struggle, and defeat, you begin to operate from that space. But when you speak abundance, even if your situation hasn't caught up yet, you prepare your mind to recognize and receive more. Because abundance doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your beliefs, your words, and your attitude. And those are things you control, starting right now. One of the most dangerous lies people believe is, "I'll start later." Later becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. And before you know it, you've spent a lifetime waiting for the right time that never shows up. Change doesn't need permission. It doesn't need perfect conditions. It only needs a decision. A decision to stop postponing your purpose and start becoming who you were meant to be. If you're waiting for someone to rescue you, inspire you, or believe in you, you've already lost time. The only person you're waiting for is you. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they delay action. They believe they need more money, more clarity, more motivation, more support. But action creates clarity. Action builds confidence. And action generates momentum. The secret is to begin right where you are with whatever you have. Start messy. Start unsure. Start scared. But start. Because what you do today may not look like much, but it's a seed for who you'll become tomorrow. Being the change means taking full ownership. It means saying, no more excuses. No more blame. No more waiting for life to hand me a better deal. It's about becoming proactive, intentional, and consistent in how you live, learn, and lead. Stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I never try? Too many people are sitting on talents, dreams, and solutions the world desperately needs. But they're paralyzed by hesitation. And the longer you wait, the heavier the regret becomes. You don't have to change everything overnight, but you do have to do something today that your future self will thank you for. Maybe it's making that call, writing that plan, saying no to distractions, saying yes to discipline. Don't underestimate the power of a small move made consistently. Greatness isn't built in a moment. It's built through moments. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for motivation to show up at your door. Don't wait for the stars to align. Be the shift. Be the spark. Be the start. So now you know. Poverty isn't just about your bank account. It's about your beliefs, your habits, your words, and your willingness to move. The moment you decide to shift your mindset, invest in yourself, stay disciplined, become a creator, speak abundance, and take action without delay, that's the moment your future changes forever. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay broke. And you sure don't have to stay quiet. Everything you need is already inside you. But it won't activate until you do something. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Today. You weren't born to live in survival mode. You were born to build, to rise, and to thrive. So stand up, shake off the doubt, get focused, get moving. Start doing this today, and you will never be poor again.